the passenger side of the intake manifold gasket is being particular battle. My trimmers make it so difficult. All right, battle. Here we are at the back of my bullnose truck. And today I want to get this baffle installed in the lifter valley. And I want to clean the gasket surface of the valve covers and install the valve covers. Then tomorrow we can install the intake manifold. And then I want to get everything connected, you know, just shy of the carburetor, so we can do that as a video. So interestingly, this baffle for the bottom of the lifter valley on the Oldsmobile 455, it mentions it in the chassis service manual on page 6B-14, and it is in illustration 6B-123, but it doesn't provide a torque spec. And you can see these are little tiny bolts. So I'm going to go ahead and clean it up, and I'm going to install it, and we're going to torque it down to the specified German torque spec of Gutentite, and it'll be good to go. Since this is underneath the intake manifold, it doesn't have to be spotless clean, but we'll go ahead and get the worst of it. You'll see when I install the intake manifold, I got the turkey tray intake manifold, which I think is right here underneath the valve covers. So I got the turkey tray intake manifold, which is Mike Sierra 96004. And when we install it tomorrow, I am going to cut the sides off of the turkey tray, and you'll see how I'll install it. I don't know how they did it in the factory, if they had a jig that the intake manifold hung from, but I have never been able to get the turkey tray to work properly. And we're going to dispose of those included end rails. You'll see. There's a little bit of nylon in the grooves of this baffle, which if you take an oil pan off of an Oldsmobile engine, you'll find little bits and pieces of the nylon sheath that's on the timing gear to deaden the noise. But I think these little bits of nylon are probably, see right there, probably old valve guide seals. All right, what do you think, Battle? I think it's ready to go in the lifter valley. I'll meet you over there by the 71. Okay, Battle. There is the lifter valley. Here's the baffle. I got it clean-ish. Here are the little 7/16 bolts. Little tiny guys. Got them in there finger tight. Like I said, I don't know what the torque spec is. So let's at least get them Gutentite. Actually, I think I'm just going to go that far. Just snug, not even Gutentite. Because I don't want to damage the baffle or the cast iron. So it's in there. All right, Battle. Let's go ahead and go back to the back of the truck, and I want to prep the valve covers and install them, and then we'll at least get a little bit done today. I am doing what right looks like, and I have an N95 mask on because here in a minute I'll probably be sanding on these valve covers. I need to get them clean before we install them, because these are on my parts engine. Excuse me, not my parts engine. The engine on my engine stand, which actually, we'll see, Olds guy had said he would like to get that engine in his 72 Vista. So we'll see. I was thinking I wanted to put it on a run stand and try to sell it online, you know, for good money, but I think maybe it'd be a better deal if I let Olds guy have it, and maybe he can do something for me in return. Because in today's economy, I don't think I would ever get what I want out of that 455, even if it ran. And it would be at least $500 to $1,000 for a run stand. This razor is old, so it's not good and sharp. These are medium 3M sanding blocks, and then this is 60 grit sandpaper. All right, we're getting there. Getting there. This is sort of a pain in the butt battle. I don't think I'm going to get it done before lunch. Mama wanted to do some stuff this afternoon. Okay, battle. You can see these valve covers, the one closest to you, the gasket surface is prepped and ready for the new gasket. This one is still the same way it was when I took it off of the engine on the stand. So, I suppose sharper blades would help, but since I have dull blades, I just gotta scrape it. Use it as a gasket scraper. These gloves are so. We're getting there, battle. I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to get this one prepped, because Mama, she wants to do family stuff after lunch, and I need to change, but that's okay. I'll get it. I can come back out maybe this afternoon once we're done, or I'll get it tomorrow. Careful, Olds64. Don't want to damage the paint on the exterior. And so I'm using this blanket that Mama hates. You might recognize it from when I installed the headers. If we need to touch up some of the paint, we can. Once everything is installed, we could always touch it up with a brush, or we could use aluminum foil as a guard and then spray it. Don't want the guy with the red beard to find out that the Olds, that the 71 is looking like a hobo car. Never live it down. Actually, this one's coming cleaner faster than the other one because I had struggled with a Dremel and other tools, and pretty much just abrasion is the only way to get it. Now, if you look at the chassis service manual, again, page 6B-41, it says that these valve covers are only supposed to be torqued to 7 foot-pounds. So that's not much, but you gotta make sure that these holes aren't dimpled in. And I can sort of feel, as I clean these, that there's a little bit of dimpling around the holes, but I think it'll be good. For valve covers that are 50 years old, they took a coat of paint pretty good. They look good. There they are. The exterior's clean, and the gasket surface is clean. So they're ready to go on the engine. We'll see what I do tomorrow. Maybe I'll put the intake manifold in before I put the valve covers on. You can go ahead and catch me tomorrow and help me out, battle. Let's clean the intake manifold bolts. There we go. I don't think this is the OE hardware. I think I got hardware from a local hardware store when I rebuilt the engine. It's on the engine stand. There they are, clean and and ready to be installed. Here's the intake manifold gasket. Felpro MS 96004. It's the turkey tray gasket, and it comes with these end seals and this RTV silicone. Now, I've never been able to get the turkey tray to seal properly. Maybe it's because I have a central trimmer. I'm not sure, but folks on the Classic Oldsmobile website talk about using this Right Stuff gasket maker. So we're going to go ahead and use that in lieu of these end seals. And then I have some high temperature RTV silicone to put around the center port, which is the exhaust crossover. You can read threads on Classic Oldsmobile about blocking that exhaust crossover. There's no need to do that if you have a street car. And if you want to do that, then the proper way to do it is to melt aluminum into the crossover port of the head. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the sides off of this turkey tray. And if you look at the old video of the disassembly, you'll be able to see that when I took the engine apart, it had a turkey tray that was cut down. Here we go. Got one side off. All right, we have the side rails cut off of the turkey tray, and this turkey tray right here, we're just going to go ahead and get rid of it, and then we're going to install the side rails. So let's get her done. Okay, Battle, I have everything prepped. I'm going to get some RTV to start with. This is the high temperature stuff. Going to apply some around the exhaust crossover port. All right, we're going to install some RTV around the coolant ports at the four corners. Now we want RTV around the intake runners. This is per the manufacturer's instructions. Come on, Olds64. Oh, hold on. Just like a tube of toothpaste, I was squeezing it from the middle, and all of it was getting pushed into the back of the tube. We have RTV around all the intake manifold ports. I was concerned about RTV oozing over on the paint, but I shouldn't be. The guy with the red beard is going to know that we cut the turkey tray off of the gasket anyways. So now what we need to do is we need to get that gasket maker and run a bead on the front lifter valley rail and the back lifter valley rail. So we got the RTV on the heads, and now we can put the sides of the intake manifold gasket on. If you cut the turkey tray off of the intake manifold gasket, make sure your numbers go on the driver's side, and there are little divots that fit into the head. See? Divots into the head, numbers on the driver's side. We're going to run RTV on the top side of the gasket. I don't know how you're supposed to have enough RTV with the little tube that's included. I had to add this daggone bolt because, oh God, this is not going well, Battle. This is not going well at all. This is 100% a job with rubber gloves because there's so much RTV everywhere. You do not want that stuff on your skin. That's what right looks like, Battle. Lay a good bead on the front end rail and the back end rail. Alright. So we got a bead at the front and the back. Alright, Battle. Here goes nothing. You apply oil to the intake manifold bolts, just like we did to the head bolts. I do not know how you do it if it was a cast iron intake manifold. That'd be heavy as all get out. There is no way I would be able to do it with the turkey tray. Got them snug. Okay, Battle, on page 6B8 of the chassis service manual, figure 6B-111, it shows the tightening sequence for the intake manifold bolts. And we start off at 15 foot-pounds, and then we go back and do 35 foot-pounds, which is the final torque spec. So, oh great. The socket fell into the distributor hole. You're kidding! I dropped the 9/16 socket in the distributor hole and I could not fish it out. So I have to take the intake back off. I don't even know. I thought maybe it fell to the oil pan, but that's not something you can joke around with. I didn't even get this gasket torqued down. I don't know where the distributor hole attaches. I don't know if it could have gone down into the pan, past the oil pump. Great! Well, that's a fail for you.